Hello everyone, and welcome back to your haunted neighborhood, where memories linger like fog and shadows remember your name. I'm your host, Jody War, and each episode we explore the stories that rattle attic doors, haunt hallway mirrors, and whisper from beyond the grave. So come closer. You're already one of us. One of our haunted neighbors has a story that just couldn't stay buried, that has found its way to us and is dying to be told. So let's open the door, shall we? Step inside your haunted neighborhood. There's a house in the quiet woods of Connecticut, an old Victorian relic with bones of rotting wood and windows that weep when it rains. Two young girls wandered its halls, but curiosity had its cost. Tonight's story is Secluded Old House in Connecticut. My uncle, a wallpapering expert, and my father, a skilled carpenter, teamed up for a project, an old white Victorian house nestled in the quiet seclusion of rural Connecticut. For my 13-year-old self and my 11-year-old cousin, this was more than just a renovation project. It was an open invitation to explore our fascination with the supernatural. This particular house felt like hitting the jackpot. The property sprawled across several acres, boasting a built-in greenhouse. Further out, a dilapidated shed leaned at the yard's edge, where the forest began. Even without any ghost stories, the entire scene possessed a certain eerie charm, which is a quality often found in the old homes of the East Coast, to be honest. Left to our own devices, we approached the back of the house at the kitchen entrance. A basement door loomed wide open by the entrance, with an immediate, unwelcome vibe. A certain sense settled over me, a feeling that something resided here, and it wasn't exactly good. Despite the thrill of quenching my curiosities, the urge to remain in yard for the rest of the afternoon was almost overwhelming. But my cousin was too bold for this. As we ventured deeper into the house, a profound dread came over me, each step feeling heavier than the last. My body seemed to resist the house. My cousin, meanwhile, was claiming to hear things and became fixated on exploring the attic. Honestly, I was already beyond done with this place. Even my 13-year-old brain registered that this was not a good place. All I wanted to do was to go sit in the car. We made our way up to the attic, and to my relief, it had been renovated. Despite the lingering unease, it wasn't the least bit creepy, visually. There was even a small TV, which I turned on, sitting on the floor in front of it. But my cousin's attention was snagged by a closed door. She stood before it, completely still, her gaze fixed. Now, this was an 11-year-old who was usually a whirlwind of energy, constantly talking or making sounds, so her sudden silence spoke volumes. I tried to ignore it, but then she grabbed the knob and began yanking on it. But the door wouldn't budge. So logically, it was likely an unfinished storage area. So the wood was probably swollen shut from moisture. Looking back now, though, I think I was wrong. I stood up to help her. The door was genuinely jammed. But she became almost frantic. Her insistence on opening it was bordering on aggression. It was super disturbing to see her like this. I started pulling with all my strength, and the door finally gave way with a strong burst. I fell backward, still gripping the doorknob, as a sudden, powerful gust of wind swept over us, whipping our hair back. My cousin screamed, a sound of pure terror. Frozen in place, her eyes wide. By the time I regained my balance and rushed to see what she was seeing, there was nothing. But I swear, her sheer terror was real. This particular room was the true attic. Unfinished, with splintered wood, random old antiques scattered about, and a grimy old window. Upon looking in, an intense wave of nausea hit me. I slammed the door shut without a second thought. A primal fear surged through me, and I immediately scooped up my cousin and bolted down the stairs, out of the house and into the yard. Even now, she won't tell me what she saw. She just laughs it off and changes the subject. It leaves me constantly questioning. Was that terror just a figment of my overactive imagination, or was it something tangible? The feeling was so intense, so visceral. It made me physically ill. I don't know the history of that house, but deep down in my soul, I feel that something truly awful happened there. Ah, your haunted neighborhood. Every home has a memory. Every street hides a secret. And every street lamp flickers and lights the way to another spine tingler from one of your haunted neighbors. Words left unspoken can rot like old wood. Let's talk about the moments that cracked something open in this story. You know what gets me about this one? Isn't just the old house or the attic or even the scream. It's the silence afterward. The kind of silence that sticks with you. I keep thinking about how those girls were just kids, bored exploring the house while their dads were working, and how just that one moment changed everything. And what's really scary for me is that they never find out what she saw. She just screamed and never talked about it again. That kind of fear that kind of lingers. Maybe it was something she couldn't explain, or maybe it was too real to relive. It makes me wonder how many of us are walking around with haunted memories we never talk about. Moments we feel are too strange or too scary. Maybe just too heavy to share. Stories that live in our minds. Who knows when they'll come out? The more I think about it, it feels kind of haunting that this story didn't need all the creepy whispers or moving things. It was quiet moments. The scream is what echoes through your memory. The things you never want to talk about again. Two cousins just exploring. I remember when I was younger, I would always hang out with my cousin, and I can understand just having fun, exploring things, and then something traumatic like that happens to you, and you want to understand why. I love Victorian houses, so I can totally see why they would go explore. Just two cousins thinking you're just killing time while the grown-ups work. And the moment you step into that attic, it's something else. What's scary about it is it was the gust of wind, and then one of the cousins didn't see anything. Isn't what she saw, it's the silence that followed. She never told her cousin. She never spoke of it again. That kind of fear just sits in your mind. I think a lot of us have something like that a moment that didn't make sense, left it buried in our minds, left us unsettled. Maybe we convinced ourselves it wasn't real, or I don't know, something shifted in us. In that house in the attic, a place is like frozen in time, like their memories and all their stuff is probably still in there. Who knows if something's still waiting in there. Thanks so much, you guys, for listening. And thanks for wandering these haunted streets with me. I hope you'll come back for the next story. Until next time, see you around the neighborhood.